Hey guys, it's me, Julia Lee, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about a few tips on how to find your personal style. I live in Toronto, Canada, and I think growing up in a North American culture that really values fashion trends can influence you to the point where you aren't even really sure what your personal style is. Yes, I've always had preferences, but I think those preferences are still based on what I prefer from what's on trend that season. So I've been looking to Instagram and Pinterest for a lot of inspiration, and I, like I'm sure many of you, am really drawn to and inspired by Parisian fashion. And it's je ne sais quoi. I've always wanted to have a wardrobe that's full of classics and timeless pieces, but I find that I've consistently been in this cycle of buying more clothes yet still feeling like I have nothing to wear. If this is something you can relate to and you want to learn how to have that effortless style that French women really embody, then keep watching for some tips on how to find and refine your personal style to help you build a wardrobe you love. So I've started this journey of building a wardrobe I love, and I've been really focusing on it lately, especially now that I have all this time to spend at home and I have some time to critically look at my clothes and my purchases and understand what I do and don't like about them. If you haven't seen the first two episodes in this series, I'll link them in the cards above and in the description below. I would recommend that you watch them first because I think they're really great things to do up front. If you have a mountain of clothes, then holding on shopping and doing a closet clean out are really the first step in revealing your personal style to you. I could list off a bunch of specific tips on how to dress with Parisian style, but the goal isn't to mimic their style. The goal is to understand how they dress and what really gives them that effortless but put together look. So I've broken this down into three themes: personality, proportions, and practicality. French women don't follow trends. Instead, they find pieces that are unique, whether it be a hand-me-down, something thrifted, something purchased at a boutique shop. They don't want to look like everyone else. Stop shopping trends. To build a lasting wardrobe, you want to wear clothes that you truly enjoy wearing, clothes that you feel good and confident in, and really bring out your personality. Trends and fast fashion are built for mass attraction, and seeing every other person wearing the same thing as you doesn't really make the style all that personal. So figure out what you like. What types of clothes were you left with after your closet clean out? What do you wear often and what makes you feel the most like you? How would you describe those clothes? After my closet clean out, I was left with a lot of classic, casual, and feminine pieces. This was kind of surprising to me because I've always really liked a bit of a grunge style because I feel like it really represents an aspect of my personality. But as I've grown older, I've also kind of grown a bit out of this style, and I just don't really reach for those clothes all that often. In fact, one of my recent regretful purchases fell into this category, and I realized as much as I love the look, I just didn't love it on me as much. If you browse clothing stores online, then by default, you're always going to be seeing the next trend and whatever they want to sell to you for that season. If you have a basic idea of what styles you gravitate towards based on what you actually wear out of your closet, then just take some keywords and search it up on Instagram or Pinterest, and you'll get a lot wider range of inspiration, but it'll be more focused on what your actual personal style is. The second thing to discover and really play with is figuring out what types of clothes work for your body proportions. This isn't a hard and fast rule. Of course, you can wear whatever you want that makes you feel good. But I think wearing clothes that really are flattering for your body proportions just makes you look more put together and overall more attractive. We all have different proportions. Torso to leg ratio, shoulder to waist to hip, and so on. But clothes are made to an average standard. They aren't meant to fit us all perfectly. Tailoring your clothes can really completely change your look and really enhance your style. I'm 5'1", so I'm petite, and although I don't buy all my clothes in petite sizing, I do make sure that I get my pants tailored so that the hem falls where they should fall on my short legs. When I was more muscular, I would have to buy shirts that would fit my shoulders properly so I could move around easily, but it always meant that they were much too wide for my body. So I would get the body, take it in so that it would look fitted and look how it's supposed to look. I know that tailoring is an additional cost, but in my opinion, it's always been worth it. In the same way that you'd get a wedding dress tailored so that you can look your best, you want to get your everyday clothes tailored as well so that you can look your best every day. Aside from tailoring, you want to figure out what styles naturally work for your body proportions. So like I said, I'm petite, I have a longer torso and shorter legs, so my pants are pretty much exclusively high-rise because they give me that extra length and elongate my legs a bit. Wearing styles that work for your proportions will also help keep you away from trends. So for example, in recent years, culottes have come back and I really like the look of them, but how wide and short they are just really wouldn't work for my body. It would really just draw attention to how short I am. So on the other hand, I have a pair of wide leg jeans. They aren't as wide and they also go all the way down past my ankle, so they work for me because they elongate my legs. Another example, if you have more of an athletic build like me, is you want to make sure your waist shows to give you more shape. So tucking in your tops, wearing belts, not wearing anything that's too oversized or too long that's going to hide your waist and make you look like a rectangle. So figure out what styles work for your proportions. Whether you're petite like me, more busty, more curvy, more pear-shaped, do your research and understand what styles help accentuate your assets in the right way, and this will help make you feel and look your best. And last is practicality. The older I've gotten, the more I've steered away from really beautiful but totally uncomfortable clothes. There's a time and place where sometimes you have to suffer to look completely fabulous, but that's not on a day-to-day basis. If you're not comfortable in what you're wearing, it'll show in your overall vibe and how you carry yourself, which will just really take away from your style. Approaching your style with a sense of practicality means choosing clothes that work for you, not clothes that you have to work for to make them work. I've always been a boot person because I hate wearing shoes without socks. Like anytime I've worn flats or shoes, my feet get into this really uncomfortable state where they're like cold but also sweaty, and it's just gross and uncomfortable and I hate it. So I've basically just opted out of those styles. They aren't comfortable and they simply don't work for me, so I don't force it. Instead, I have a good variety of ankle boots that I can pretty much wear all season. If you live in the city and you walk more than you drive, then maybe having a collection of high heels just isn't practical for you. High heels past a certain height aren't comfortable to wear all day for anyone. So instead of buying shoes simply because they're pretty, maybe opt for a kitten heel that's really classy but also comfortable. If you live somewhere that has cold winters like me, it doesn't mean that you have to have a collection of sweaters just for the winter season. Instead, you can layer. You can layer over a base layer, and then you can actually add and remove layers based on how you feel, whether you're outside or inside. So be practical. When you're comfortable in your clothes, you won't be fidgeting and constantly adjusting, and you'll naturally wear your clothes with more confidence. They won't be as comfortable as sweats. Like, that's just not realistic to have that every single day. But when you're selective and choose pieces that naturally work with your lifestyle, it'll be easier to get dressed, giving you that more effortless end result. So those are my tips, the 3 Ps on how to find your style. Focus on what brings out your personality, figure out what works for your body proportions, and approach your style with a sense of practicality. If you guys have any other tips, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.